Okay, Jeff, I'm gonna hit the chat. There's one question in there that I wanted you to address. So, JB7, if you had to put a percentage on it, how likely are the Falcons to just stay at 15 rather than trading up or down?
I think right now you're looking at 50-50, right?
Wow.
Like I think right now you're at 50-50. I know that there's, I think the issue is you have so many people, and I can only speak for Falcons Twitter because I see it every day. I live it every day. There are accounts with large amount of followers who want you to believe that the one day the Falcons are moving up, then they're going to move back, then they're going to stay put, then they're going to draft Mike Green, then they're going to take Starks. Like, there's a reason I don't put out something every day, right now, because right now they are still and this is the latest they've ever done. They're still finalizing their board, right? Like, and within the last few years, their board has been set 2 weeks out. We're less than 2 weeks out now, right? And they're still trying to put together kind of their draft plan and how they're going to execute it. So right now it's still 50-50. Yes, there's an absolute chance that they move up or they move down. But I still think there's a great chance that they stay put because they're starting to believe that the guys that they want on their board will be available at 15. And if you can get some of these guys at 15 and not have to move up, and I also think at 15, you don't have to move down to get better draft. What's the word I'm looking for here? Like equivalent capital, right? Like, you don't have to worry about taking a guy at 15 because you're like, well, maybe he'll be available at 21, because that's not really a big, like, if you want a guy at 8, or if you have 8, but you know that you can get him in the 20s, you're going to move back so you can pick up something. Whereas if you're at 15, you're right there in the smack dab middle of this thing. So if you think a guy will be available in the mid 20s, you're probably still going to take him at 15 because it's not that big of a leap, right? It's outside the top 10. And while the NFL doesn't have a lottery, like, we all know the top 10, 12 picks are all considered lottery picks in the NFL, right? Like, but you're outside that. So the equivalent that you have for guys doesn't drop much. And I still think when you look at their top 5 of guys that they would be willing to draft at 15, are almost equivalent to the same guys they would be willing to move up for. And one of those top 5 is going to be available at 15, the way that this draft is going to shake out. So I think they're in a great spot. I think there is some thought in the front office of wanting to drop back to pick up some of the draft picks that they did lose because of the nonsense over the last calendar year with Kirk Cousins. But I don't know that thought is going to win out overall. And so I think right now it is 50-50. But none of those 3 scenarios shocks me at all. If they decide, especially if guys like that they really want, because there's a different percentage level, right? Guy that they want at 1 is very different than the guy that they would take their 5th guy on the top 5 board, right? Like, there's a big difference of the impact that they believe that those guys can have. And so I think if the top 4 are gone, even though they would feel comfortable taking the 5th one at 15, they may start to look to try to trade back and see if there is any trade partners. They move back into the 20s to pick up a 4th or 5th round pick to try to pick up additional depth at that point. But ultimately, I would I'm not gonna say I would be shocked to see them move it all, but I think there's a good chance ultimately that they stay at 15 and take somebody on their top 5.
I think you made a really good point. Like, the top 1 or 2 in their top 5, they probably stand still, take their guy. And if I was them, and this is obviously just my opinion, if it's Michael Williams or Jalen Walker, just take him at 15, don't gamble. If those 2 are off the board, then I feel like everybody else on their draft board, it's almost equivalent to, if you stay at 15 and then maybe you drop back down to 25 or something like that, I feel like you could get a same caliber player there if those 2 are off the board. But one other thing, Jeff, and
Hold on.
Yeah,
Go
ahead.
I want to address that real quick, right? I want to address something that you just brought up because I've seen this all this week. Can we please shut the fuck up about Shamar Stewart being a top 15 draft pick? I don't know why all of a sudden this dude's name is coming up there, but stop it. Absolutely stop it. That is absurd that you would even consider taking a guy like that. I don't care that he's 6'5", 270, is a freak athlete. That dude was shit. And you're hoping that changes because he has a freak physique. Stop it. Like, it's just absolutely absurd that all of a sudden now that this is the name, people are like, oh, I'm coming around. I would take him if I'm the Falcons. No, the fuck you wouldn't. He's of the top 5 edge rushers in this draft. He's like number 12. Stop it.
If you're going to throw someone in there, that needed to be said. If you're going to throw someone in there, and this might piss you off too, Mike Green. I feel like that guy actually, he has obviously the off-field issues, but he actually does have pass rushing ability. So if we're going to go think outside the box and step outside the norm, that's the guy I would want. But Jeff, who's your top, not the Falcons. I don't know if you know the top 5 off the top of your head, but who do you think should be our top 5 people?
So for me, I mean, are we going just by fantasy, or are we talking realistic?
Just realistic. Don't throw Abdul. I know you're not super high on Abdul Carter. You don't throw people that you don't think we have a chance. Like Travis Hunter shouldn't be on this list, for example. Top 5 at 15.
I would take Travis Hunter anyway.
Oh, okay, interesting.
No, I have said this for a while, but for me, number 1 and number 2 are going to be Jalen Walker and Mikael Williams, right? Like those 2 guys are my absolute number 1s. Will Campbell I would take, but he's not going to be available. So for me, a realistic number 3 who may fall to them, a guy like Mason Graham out of Michigan, I would absolutely jump at and take. I would love to see that happen. There's a chance he's available. A guy that they've worked out that I would absolutely take at number 4 for me is Kelvin Banks. I think you're high on him as well. Does he fall to 15? Probably not. But that's another guy that I would absolutely take. Those would be my top 4. If you're looking at a 5th, I would go with Starks. And not that Starks is, I do agree with the Falcons. I think he is one of the best safety products to come out in probably the last decade. They have him like one of the best all time. I don't know that I would go that far, but I would say of the last decade, when you look at some of the great safeties that come out, he's up there with them. So that for me would be my top 5, right? So Walker, Williams, all of a sudden, what's his name out of Michigan? Banks, and then Starks would be my top 5.
It's really coming along. We're at 156 subscribers, and yeah, it's just incredible growth that we really couldn't do without you guys. So we really appreciate it. And yeah, just watch for this to drop on YouTube, Spotify, and we'll try to come back here almost every week and give you guys a bigger heads up for the live streams.
Yeah, hey, remember to follow, subscribe there on YouTube, as well as Spotify. We are tracking the YouTube followers. We get to 500, we will do a Falcons giveaway, and then for every 500 after that, we will do another Falcons giveaway. So make sure you hit us up on there, and I appreciate it. You may see only 156 subscribers, but that's in like less than 10 days, right? Like, I'm excited. I think we have some great followers. We get some great feedback, and you guys are fantastic. So I appreciate all the support, and I'm glad Andrew and I have jumped into this, and we're only going to get better.
Yeah, day by day, we keep learning, but we can't do it without you guys. So appreciate the support, and see you guys next week.